shoot natin today?
Huh?
May time ba dyan?
What is this place? Are we supposed to be?
It's the new FRC studio!
What?
Oh my
We
God!
have a new studio!
Coming
so
legit!
great! Oh wow, look at the lights. They're so big. How to eat us here.
FRC fams out there!
Oo nga.
Hi, FRC fam! So
Hello.
apparently, we're here in the new FRC studio.
Wow, state of the art.
Yes.
What a blessing.
Grabe, iba yung lighting, iba yung
Oo nga.
aura.
It's so light. Parang nasa, di pa naman tayo nasa heaven. Pero it's so light here.
Yes, but hi FRC fam! So again, this is Chai.
And rap.
Yes, welcome to another episode this month, Empowering Families Worldwide. A closer look at the Holy Cross Family Ministries.
What's Holy Cross Family Ministries?
Alam ko na nga eh. Pero that is actually the umbrella organization of the Family Rosary Crusade Philippines.
So for our first ever episode in this new studio, we have none other than the International Director of the Holy Cross Family Ministries. So he aims to promote the family as God's masterpiece and the home as the place where each of us begins. Napakaganda nun, no?
Yes.
He also loves to play ping pong, badminton, and volleyball. Such an active director.
Yes,
So we would
actually.
like to welcome to our episode for Church Alive, Father Pinto Paul of the Holy Cross Congregation.
Thank you.
Welcome, Father.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for
Rap and
gracing
Chai.
us.
Oh,
Yes.
it's
With your
such a joyful occasion, and I'm so delighted to be here. And you know, I'm always so proud of that man, Father Wilson.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What a shout out.
Shout
Yes.
out, Father.
Father
Father
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yes. Father Wilson and his team, Father Jimmy, Father Wilson, and the entire team here, they have done an amazing job. And I'm so proud of them. And recently we had our global leaders meeting in Ireland, where all the leaders from different countries, they were there. And Father Wilson actually presented the new pastoral plan, the branding and the visual identity that they have come up with, which was really breathtaking, you know. And we were really amazed by the hard work that they have put in, and the plan and the strategies that they have come up with to help families pray. Because
Wow.
we are all about families,
Yes.
helping families pray.
Shout out to the
Shout out, Father
FRCPhilippines
Wilson, if you are
team.
watching. Yes, Father. So you're a very busy man. So thank you for gracing us with your presence again. I know you're very much jet lagged still from your previous
Yes,
travel.
very fresh from Ireland.
Yes.
Just yesterday, as of the day of shooting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Father. So maybe you can provide us more background of what the Holy Cross Family Ministry is all about,
Mhm.
and so that for FRC fam out there could understand it better.
Yeah, yeah. You know, a family is the most treasured of all possessions, you know, and that if that family has to be nurtured, the best way to nurture that is to call upon God, Blessed Mother, and the saints, and to pray. You know, Father Peyton realized that, you know, as you said in the beginning, family is God's masterpiece. And if that family has to be nurtured on a day-to-day basis, the best way to do that is through prayer. So that's what Father Peyton realized. As you know, he started the family ministries 1942, Holy Cross, it was Family Rosary. In 19 years from now, it's going to be 100 years of Holy Cross
wow.
Family Ministries. So we have a great vision
I'm
ahead.
computing how many. We're around 81 years old.
Yeah,
If my math is correct.
2042 it will be.
Oh wow.
So 2042. So he began that ministry, and some of the rosary rallies that he had millions of people. He had a great strategy. It's called Six Mounted Strategy. So he would train men, and they would go from home to home and invite people to participate. Imagine when you had the rosary rally here in Luneta Park, it was almost 2 million people came with their rosaries in their hand and praying. Imagine when a church is fully packed and when people pray, you can feel that vibration. Imagine 2 million people coming together and praying for peace and unity and for family. Oh, it's amazing. So same thing happened all around the world. He has addressed more than 28 million people in person.
So that's how like the Holy Cross Family Ministries kind of started through.
Correct. He
Great.
started in a simple way,
Uh-huh.
and then it grew into a worldwide organization. So Family Theatre, Family Rosary, and later in 1947, I believe, he started Family Rosary, Family Theatre Productions.
Okay.
That is where he realized that the media is the best way, to reach to more homes.
Yeah.
So he actually, the only thing that he had was a rosary in his hand and a vision. With that, he walked into Hollywood, the heart of the cultural center of Hollywood.
Heart of media in
Heart
this
of
world.
media. And he had no money, nothing, and he would get the A-list actors and actresses to work for him, means like to give talks on family. So he had more than 800 radio dramas, and he also went into feature film, and also he produced The Mysteries of the Rosary. He was ahead of his time. So actually today I'm so happy, the church is really getting more and more involved in evangelizing the digital continent through media, through YouTube, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
So happy to be a part of all of this whole mission that started from Father Peyton's vision. It's so refreshing to hear the history from how it started, because every episode, in the end, we always hear Venerable Patrick Peyton's name, right?
Yes.
And that's where it started, through his massive faith and his experience of a miracle, through the intercession of our Mother Mary. He was inspired to touch millions and millions of families. So that's very inspiring.
And it's also nice to hear the simple story of how it began. I think it also humbles where everything is right now, like how we're all very techy, and then we're all very much exposed to media. So it's very nice to hear that a big congregation is actually coming from a very simple story, but very inspiring. So thank you for sharing that story, Father.
Yes.
That exactly happens. Everything begins in small, and that's why really attracts me to this ministry, is because everything begins at home, from your own families. St. John Paul II said, as the family goes, there goes the nation, and there goes the world. So it is very important what happens in the families. I believe I am where I am today is because of prayer in my family.
You hear that, FRC fam? It all starts small, with you just holding your rosaries there at home and praying with your family.
Yes, parang nagsistart lagi sa bahayan. So this is very inspiring. This is very enlightening. It also reminds us of the value of prayer. I think that's the root of it all, coming from like the foundation of the Holy Cross Family Foundation, Family Ministries.
Yes, correct. Actually, I'm interested to know, Father, on a personal experience. I mean, like your personal experience of the Holy Cross Family Ministries. We mentioned a while ago that you're the international director right now. How did you actually start being part of the ministry?
I mean, I served as a missionary for almost 10 years in Northeast India after I became a priest. That was a lovely ministry, the first generation people becoming
You
Catholics.
mentioned, Father, before you became a priest.
No, after becoming priest.
After
My
becoming
first
priest.
10 years as a young priest, I worked in the missions of Northeast India. But after that, they sent me for higher studies to Boston. So I was staying with our community at Stonehill College. After I finished my master's, then they asked me to continue with my PhD, doctorate in educational leadership. But then towards the end of my doctoral program, Father Willie Raymond, who was at that time the president of Holy Cross Family Ministries, he said, Pinto, please, you should come and join me. Though we were just living in the same community and Family Ministries campus was right on the same campus, but I didn't know much about Father Peyton. In spite of being a Holy Cross, I didn't know much about Father Peyton, neither about the work. But he took me in as his special assistant for 1 year. And then staying with him, he really oriented me. That 1 year, he really taught me what family ministry is and what the mission is. And I said, I can tell you, I've never been as happy as I am now, because I realized this is the most important work that needs to be done. Because if families are not taken care, there goes the nation and there goes the world.
Yes.
So today the greatest challenge is disintegration of family. if families need to be together, if you need to grow happy, healthy, and holy, prayer is a prime force. Prayer is the most powerful force in heaven and on earth. And if family can pray together, they are going to stay together.
So it's like there's this God-given desire in your heart that He's already planted that's really clicked with what HCFM is about. I remember from your introduction, Father, which also really struck me, the phrase that you wanted to promote the family as God's masterpiece and the home as the place where each of us begins and from which we venture into the world to make it a better place. I never looked at family in that light. Like that's a very, very beautiful statement to actually say that everything indeed begins in the family as we are nurtured to take part in the whole world and hopefully to be a positive change.
You know what aligns with this that's reminding me of? Like all of our guests would always come back to the value of family. Like it just reminds us of like no matter where we are in the world, we give that high value to families. Like in the Philippines, and Father being exposed to different types of people, different cultures, we all go back to that value. So it's actually very nice how everything is aligning and how that made you make your first step into, of course, being part of the Holy Cross Family Ministry.
Because this is, as you said, family is where life begins, faith is planted, hope is nourished, and love never ends. That's what family. You know, all the other things may end, but come what may, your family will always be there, stand by you, no matter what happens.
Father, you mentioned earlier how you were also exposed, like talking to different types of people. Of course, being the international director, you're very much out there, I would say. So maybe you can enlighten us on your encounters or like how is your usual day?
Typical day is a blend of administrative tasks and communication with all our global mission center leaders, collaboration with the Holy Cross community, and you know, above all, most importantly, fostering a spiritual connection with the family, with the families that we are engaged with through prayer and reflection. And I come to the office normally around 8:30 in the morning until 5:30. It is no break except the break for rosary and mass. And every day we have rosary and mass, and that really strengthens me to go on. And I never feel bored.
I think we need to start in more countries.
Yes, Father. But so you go to the office, of course. But outside of the office, like maybe you can give us a bit of a picture of what you do, and you know, of course, the different types of people that you talk to and encounter.
I visited most of the mission centers, except Haiti. That's the only place I couldn't go among our mission centers.
Can you enlighten us also, Father, like when you say mission centers, how far around the world is that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. We are in, I told you, we are in 18 countries. The latest being Australia. We have started a mission extension center there. And we are in India. We have 4 ministry centers there, including an institute for families. Actually, Holy Cross Family Ministry is a family of ministries.
Yeah. Even Holy Cross Family Ministries is a family.
Exactly, it's a family of ministries because you have Family Rosary, Family Theatre Productions, and Family Institutes, but also Catholic Mom. There is another wing of Holy Cross Family Ministries, a very strong branch of Holy Cross Family Ministries. So we, as I was telling, we are in Africa, we are in Asia, we are in Latin America, we are in North America, of course South America. You know, so it's a mixture of different countries. It's a family of ministries, so it's a combination of all the ministries. Like Family Theatre Productions, they are much into you know, producing feature films and short films and you know, value-based films for families. So which is all we use all across our ministry centers. All our ministry centers around the world, they use that. For Catholic Mom, it's based in Boston, but when I went to Dubai, I met somebody and she said, "Oh, I get these resources through Catholic Mom." I said, "Yeah, that is one of our ministry." "Oh, is it yours?" so it's not limited to, because we are digital. 80% of our work is digital.
I see.
So we reach, all our resources reach worldwide, but we also give importance to in-person work too. That's what mostly the ministry centers do, in person as well as digital reach out. So social media is an important area of our ministry. But wherever we are, there is one mission. Our mission is to inspire, foster, and promote the spiritual well-being of families. And each of these centers across the world, we have 3 goals. And everybody knows that by heart. Because there is a strategic plan that we have. Number 1 is to develop programs and activities to meet the needs of 21st century families. That is our goal 1. And number 2, our goal number 2 is to promote our resources, or to engage with people and organizations. So having a good product is not enough, but we need to connect with different organizations. Like here, we are going to collaborate with ICCFM. And then the third goal is to build an efficient, effective, and sustainable organization. So that means we need to be strong, we have to provide leadership skills, we have to be have solid financial backing, and the programs that we develop, we want them to last.
How do we join it? For example, our FRC fam out there who would be interested in participating or joining these ministries around the world, how do they get involved?
That each ministry center leader, they are like FRC is a unique operation here. Like we have our units in more than 42 parishes now, where each parish has a FRC unit, and there's a coordinator, and there's a team there. And then like Pinto diocese, I believe, they have a diocesan level coordinator who supervises and supports. So the organization is very well structured that way. So then they connect with Father Wilson, Father Jimmy, and the team here. Yeah, we could also give our main website, and if you click on that, you can see all the links and how you can connect with our resources. Especially for youth, I would suggest Catholic Central. Those are short videos coming from Family Theatre Productions, 5 to 6 minutes short videos on any of the topics. Let's say problem of evil, why good people suffer. You have a question like that, they answer that. Or a question on baptism, confirmation, marriage, anything. So there are almost 80 videos now available in English. They're short, very interesting, and a captivating way of presenting it too. So we have so much of resources. Now it's important, as you said, to connect people with what we have and share it with the rest of the world.
This is amazing because the Family Rosary Crusade, at least in my mind, is just put in a whole new different light.
Yes,
Like,
it's much bigger.
But yes, exactly, bigger picture. As Father mentioned, you can check out the website. I believe that's hcfm.org.
Correct.
Just put it somewhere here.
And all the information about the different ministries that we've talked about, they're available there. And I think it's really great just to see how Father Peyton's vision of a mission is translated into the different manifestations of these ministries, and how we're actually very rich in resource that we, FRC fam, should take more advantage of, right?
Yes, and they're actually making that effort to reach everyone. I think that's very important, especially in this digital age, that we are making those efforts, and then we're very much accessible to everyone around the world. And right now, we have the international director with us here today. So first of all, we're very lucky, and it's just very, very, very inspiring for all of us to be exposed to this. So it's almost 100 years also, Father.
Going to be 100 years.
Going strong. Like, it's just amazing.
The Catholic moms particularly struck me because that's such
Actually,
a specific
when you were visiting
niche.
the website.
And I think that's something that a lot of Filipinos can benefit from. So if you're a Catholic mom, FRC fam, comment down below. Hello.
Hello, Jan.
And for the youth, I think the Catholic Central is indeed worth checking out.
Yeah. But you know what I'm very curious about, Father, is that of course you're exposed to different cultures again, you love being connected to different types of people. Maybe you can show us like what were your encounters, like were there any specific encounters that like struck you the most,
memorable ones?
Yeah, maybe you can provide us some perspective as well, being of course exposed
to I had many. But maybe
for sure,
one of the encounters that I had was here in Philippines in the year, I think, 2019. when I was invited to attend a rosary rally in, I think it's Regina Rica. I was amazed to see more than 5,000 people gathered and a lot of young people. And each of they were all lined up, and each of the mysteries were acted out, and the church was packed. And there were so many priests, so many religious, and that was one of the most amazing, the biggest rosary rallies I have attended was here. But another experience I had was, let's say, in East Africa, Uganda. Once I went in we had an ongoing training program for the leaders there. So we went to a retreat house, and as we reached there, I just took a walk, and there was a grotto of Blessed Mother. So I went there just took a walk, and I saw three young children, maybe aged 5, 6, and 7. They were just kneeling down on that concrete floor, holding the hand of Blessed Mother, and then praying. And then they started crying, and they were actually praying in their own dialect. I didn't understand, but I saw tears rolling out through their eyes, and I waited there. I was so curious to know what's happening. So I waited there almost half an hour. They said, "Don't pray." They were conversing with the Blessed Mother. And then when they finished and when they came out, I asked them, "What were you praying for?" They said, I was thinking they may tell me, "Oh, they were praying for, give me this, give me that." They said they were praying for their villagers, for safety of their village. Because there was a lot of conflict in the village, and I was surprised. And these children were not praying for themselves, but then they're praying for others. That showed me the power of intercessory prayer. And that really touched me.
I think it's very touching in that scene, like how intense prayer is, even for kids.
Yeah.
Like they already understand that value, and to have that rush of emotions in that specific moment, and then praying for that much bigger thing, which is safety. I think it's also enlightening to know how the youth right now is very much aware of the things going on around the world, or even in their simple setup in the society. So.
And for sure, like that value of prayer that the kids were holding on to is something that they've seen probably in their families also. Like, where else could they be influenced to pray like that at such a young age? And that shows the importance of the ministries that we're doing here.
For me, the first thing that Jesus did every morning was, to get up early in the morning, he went to a lonely place and he prayed. And that is where he discovered his identity, his relationship, and his vocation. And that's the message I want to give to young people. These three things are very important for young people: to discover your identity, build your relationship, and find your vocation. And the best way to do is through prayer, and connecting with your God and yourself, and then building relationship with God and others, and then finding your vocation. And once you find vocation, be it married life or a religious life or whichever way of life, if you can discover what that God has in store for you, you will be a happy, healthy, and a holy person.
Amen.
Thank you for your message, Father.
Thank you.
But I think what I want to ask also, Father, in light, since you already sent out our message to the youth, maybe, like, at least on my circle, I would encounter different people who are feeling lost, especially in our age, where you don't know where you're supposed to go. How do you know what your calling is? I know that you already mentioned like what we should be doing, but maybe you can enlighten us, like, how do you make that first step? Like, how do you know to connect? Or people who don't even go to mass, for example, how do they go back? How do they go back to that realization that I could connect to my God?
I think that's one of the greatest difficulties young people face today. Where do you begin?
Yes.
I would say begin with the baby steps. And everything begins at our own families. Many parents also tell me, I send my son to the church, my daughters to the catechism, and to this youth activity, that youth activity. But now, once they're grown up, they don't go anymore to the church. So the question that we need to ask as youth, and as well as because the future is in your hands, the question that we need to ask is this: do I practice those things in my family? Each of you are called to be a priest, prophet and king, and that has to begin in our own families. In our new theology of the domestic church life, we teach about, we have to play together as a family, pray together as a family, work together, and talk together. This is one of the right of reaching out within the families. So start baby steps within families. You don't have to say all the monastic prayers. You can say one Hail Mary. When I get up in the morning, the first thing that I do, when I put my feet on the ground, I say, I have a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus near my bed. I say, Jesus, make my heart like yours. I may not succeed always, but so it's an inspiration every day to be the best you can be. Come out with the best in you for God and for others. Prayer is nothing else, building that relationship. And the only thing that can make us happy is relationship. Recently, a research was done. A result of the research was published, which was done by Harvard University, United States. That is the longest longitudinal study they did. They studied for more than 3 generations of people, interviewing more than 1,700 students. They followed up people for 3-4 generations. The only thing that makes people happy is deep relationships. So build your relationships, you'll be happy, healthy, and holy people. First, build your relationship with God. So faith is number 1. And then second, your family. Third, friends. And fourth, your work. So those 4 things can be the pillars of happiness for young people. Connect with your God and with your community. From there emerge the rest. Family. Keep always your connection with family. Help to build your family. Bring your family together. Use all your creativity, your tech savvy, all the blessings that God has given to young people. Use it for your family. Bring your family together. If the youth take initiative, the world is going to be different. And the third thing is friends. Having good friends. Build friendship with only people who will make you a better person, not people who lead you astray. And a good friend is a medicine of life. And number 4 is finding a satisfying work, a workplace where you can find fulfillment. Those four things are the pillars that will support you becoming a happy person.
Did you take notes, FRC fam? Those are very valuable pillars that we can really keep into mind. And, just looking at the whole picture of the Holy Cross Family Ministries, I know that there are lots of different countries, different areas of ministries involved. But one thing that I really found to be common is the value of what you just mentioned, Father, relationships.
Yes.
And relationships, when we look to our relationship towards God, that's prayer, of course. So that's really at the center of all the things that we do. Yeah. And next is like how those relationships are nurtured. And they're first indeed nurtured in our families.
Yeah.
For us to find good environments outside of our family, have that kind of experience within our own first unit of experience as well.
Yeah, it's very important. How do you build a relationship? I would say number 1 thing is show up. Show up, be present.
No matter what.
No matter what, yeah. Unless and until you show up, unless and until you are present, your relationship can never grow. Like showing up to God in prayer in the church. Come to your parish church. There's a community praying together. Show up at least on Sundays. That's number 1 thing. And then if boyfriends and girlfriends, if you don't show up to each other, your relationship will not grow. And if the parents, if you don't show up to or spend quality time with your children, your relationship with them never will grow. Same with children with parents. So showing up is a simple thing, but that is the first thing. And then second thing I would say, be truthful. For a couple that I met, I used to, when I was working at Stonehill College, so every mass they will be there, elderly couple, and they look so peaceful, so calm. So one day I asked them, it was their 60th wedding anniversary. What is the secret of your happiness? You people look so happy. What's the secret of your happiness? You know what they told me? Our secret is that there is no secret. We are not perfect people, but we fight, we argue, all these things happen in family life. But before going to bed, we sit together for 5 minutes and say what we feel, not what we think. Your mind can be Satan's liar. Your heart is God's servant, which will tell you the truth. Speak from your heart what you feel. And Pope Francis will always say, use these 3 words: I am sorry, please forgive me, I love you. So share what you feel. And they say, we go to bed in love. That's number 2. Number 3, I would say, be intense, be passionate. As young people, whatever you do, come out with the best in you. Give your best shot. When you play, play. When you pray, pray. When you work, work. Okay? So come out with the best in you at that given moment. And then the rest God will take care. And then number 4, I would say, be a giver. For me, that's what I believe. A life well lived is a life lived for others. The more we live for each other, world becomes a better place. And the 5th and the most important thing, be a praying family. A family that prays together, stays together.
In a world that...
Closing na, mamaya.
We'll close it later. But thank you, Father. FRC fam, if you're watching, maybe the first step, just to go back to what you raised up, Chai, a while ago, no? A lot of our youth right now maybe really just don't know where to start.
Yes.
Maybe the first step is to just, again, show up.
Hashtag show up.
Maybe that's actually a challenge that we can bring to our FRC fam. If you really don't know where to start, maybe you can start by commenting down below. Or
Showing
maybe
up
messaging us if you need like anything that will spark you to actually show up. Or maybe in our own contexts, in our families. That's a very real thing. I personally experience it that sometimes there's this sort of pride or ego for us youth in our families to make the first step or initiative to show our love to our parents or maybe siblings. Maybe we can try to challenge ourselves to get past that. And you know what? Let's just show our love to the people that we actually really do love. So.
Actually, what struck me most, fathers, how you said speak with your heart and not with your mind. I think that's a challenge nowadays. Like, we all have a lot of things to say. Like, everyone is very vocal now, but we tend to forget what our heart actually is feeling. So I think it's good to go back to our hearts, like connect with our hearts, connect with ourselves, so that we know what we actually want to communicate. And it's actually for the good. Like, I think it's nice that we go back to that inner self, right? And so nice to hear words from Father. It's like reading a book, but it's vocal.
A lot of things to take note of.
Audio book.
Yes. Thank you, Father. Actually, one of the things that's been in my mind is this is to move our discussion towards the struggles of our mission of the Holy Cross Family Ministries. And one of the questions in my mind is that we keep on repeating and repeating that everything starts in our families. We could, that is indeed God's masterpiece that God has placed us in for us to grow and be nurtured in. But my question is, for sure, we all have different experiences of a family. Not all of our experiences are pleasant or good. There are, of course, bad experiences in families. And so my question is, how can you, or at least in your experience of being exposed to the different ministries around the world, how do you see different families overcoming that? Or different individuals overcoming their experience of their family so that they can still, have a conviction that it's still where good things start?
Yeah, I mean, there is no ideal family situation, and no families come down from heaven. Every family has their own struggles. There are single parent families, there are, joint families, there are multiple types of families, but always there is hope. One thing that I experienced my living in the United States now, like St. John says, building beloved communities. What they do, the families come together. Sometimes on a single family, sometimes they find it difficult, but they begin the process. But 10, 15 families, a cluster of families come together on a monthly basis, and then they pray together. And that's a greater extension of that family as a domestic church. Maybe I would say trying something like that, building clusters or group of families coming together, share, pray together, then you talk together, play together, and then work together. So that's what I have seen these families doing, and the children are more interested to do that than even the elders. Because they can come meet with their friends, and
Yeah.
they bring potluck food, so they share food, and then we are invited. It's the best way I found place for evangelization. Talk to young people. They ask you direct questions, and you can answer them, and then the parents also get time to relax, talk, and share ideas. Maybe my challenge for the youth is to take lead in reviving the practice of family prayer and promoting strong family bonds. I also encourage them to initiate discussions on importance of quality family time and creative use of technology to facilitate, the shared spiritual experiences. We all use technology, but then use it for, welfare of our family. And also becoming ambassadors of family unity. The youth can inspire a cultural shift towards prioritizing family values and communication in an increasingly, fast-paced world.
So that's initiative and
Yes.
creativity.
Correct.
Something that the youth indeed has to offer to the families.
Correct.
Just needs direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you have the potential. Use it for the best of your family, because everything begins from our own families. So take care of your families, and you will have a better world.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot to process. We're also just trying
Yeah,
to
we're trying to just ingest all
process
the learnings.
But just
I
to,
think-
yeah. go
Yeah, I
ahead.
think, Father, you're in a higher position. Like, you're the international director. I think we want to understand, what is your dream for your mission?
Yeah, I'm seeing where we are really engaging. I see stronger families, happier families, healthier families, and holier families. This mission is embraced by more and more families.
Yes.
And what my dream is to see more and more that kind of flourishing and fulfilled families. The one word, if you can take home, I would say, build relationships with yourself, your God, and your family and your friends. Everything begins at home and in building relationships.
Wow.
Thank you for that,
That is
Father.
indeed is a dream, to reach more and more families, to be transformed, healthier, holier families. We like that.
And I think it's also a reminder to all of us to value family.
Mhm.
Like, in everything that we do, we always go back to that.
Yeah. And remember, family is where life begins, faith is planted, hope is nourished, and love never ends. Love your
Did
family.
you catch that, FRC fam?
So thank you so much,
Thank you,
Father,
thank you.
for the richness of wisdom that you have given to us. Now, I personally have a greater appreciation of what we do here in Family Rosary Crusade in the context of the Holy Cross Family Ministries, like the whole mission and vision, what we really want and intend for the families that we cater to. I hope that you also appreciate that, FRC fam, and that it's something that you've also experienced for yourselves. If you have been inspired to be more relational in your families or to pray more together, then feel free to share your experiences and stories with us.
Yes, because #ShowUp, FRC fam. So we thank you again for joining us in this episode. And of course, we're very much thankful for Father, the richness of the wisdom. I think this is our first ever episode that I would like to take notes
Yes.
to bring out. Like, I think it also makes everything a reality, with just, like, you won't receive the words of Father like as just very far-fetched words, because they're very much applicable to real life. Like, just the basic of showing up, valuing your family, having that passion in everything that you do, and of course being a giver. I think for me that's like key takeaways. Like,
Yes.
that's all very nice for us to be reminded of. So again, thank you again, Father, for joining us in another episode, and to our FRC fam out there who's always showing up. Sana hindi kayo mas mapagod na mag-show up for us, and of course for all your families out there.
Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father. And to our FRC fam again, catch us in our next episode. Again, this is Chai.
And Rak, who leave you with the wise words of Venerable Patrick Peyton, that
Family that prays together stays together.
and a world at prayer is a world at peace. God bless, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Father.
you, Father.
Thank you.
So when are you going back?